Hey guys, I'm Timberwolf, aka Brett Ford. Um, this is the first one. This is the pilot. This is the chatting. This is how you get to know me. Um, I just threw the setup up. I guess I should close that door. It's kind of a little bit messy. I'm in my basement. I have just a little audio setup. I've got some screens here. Um, and this is it for now. Now, ironically, I have a little spiritual room. It's basically smaller than Harry Potter's, little cupboard under the stairs, if you will. If you can think of something that would be the size equivalent. It's actually a little bit smaller. I have a little desk and I can sit in there. It's more my spiritual room. I've got some things in there that help me. But even out here, this is our office now. We've got a few little setups. My wife's set up and my colleagues set up. We've got some motivational sayings down here, right behind the camera. There's some things. So definitely going to include more of that as we grow. But you got to start somewhere. Maybe I should write inspire or something fun on that. Um, but for now, this is what we have. I'm who you have to work with, and yeah, we're gonna go from here. Today, um, on the first pilot here, I want to talk about um, negative emotions. Now, obviously, I'm going to talk about a wide range of topics. Whatever's kind of on par tonight. But being me, I'm going to just dive right in. So, negative emotions. Negative people in your life. When you're thinking about people, um, I'm sure you can envision one person right now in your life that is a negative person that whether it's through selfish means or anything like that. um, they're not thinking about who they are or what they're putting out in the world. They're energy vampires. They're people that take energy from you, and it takes a lot of energy just being around them. um, I'm sure again you might have a few of those people in your life. Now the going advice right now, the going rate, the going, what people are saying is get rid of these negative people. Cut them out. They don't have a place in your life. I would argue that they do. Now, why do I say that? Well, usually they're a friend, a family member, somebody in your life that is there to teach you something. And also, not only are they teaching you, you're teaching them. Um, we live in a space where we're all learning from one another. Again, in these videos, I'm going to go into spiritual beliefs, business advice, a ton of things. But over time, you'll get to know kind of where my thoughts are on all of that. I should say I'm um, uh, an ordained minister, and I've actually done a unofficial wedding for my sister. I've been involved in a lot of spiritual stuff over the years. I was raised Pentecostal, um, not so much me anymore. I've looked at and I've researched and I've learned a bunch of religions, and it's just something that I'm very passionate about. And I've come to a good space in my head, where I feel comfortable spiritually, and it comes out a lot in this. And again, going back, not to sidestep, and I'll probably try to edit that, but you know, as you're here as some of you might know a light worker. You're somebody that has positive energy. You're somebody that is here to make the world a better place. Is here to take us to that next step. and raise the vibration, those energy off of people. You're going to lift people up. Um, our inclination is to hide away from these people, these negative people in our lives, is to cut them off for our mental health, whatever else. I propose that instead of just cutting them off, because again, they're your friends or your loved ones. Sure, we don't need these people in our life. Sure, but guess what? On the other side, we all live fine and dandy. Everything's good, everything's positive. We have, uh, I mean, you can see all the different planes of the spiritual planes and things like that. But um, it's our job in physical reality to raise consciousness, to work with one another, to be there and allow ourselves to grow, um, and to help others grow. And so by cutting people off, by removing your light in the dark places of, the people that you're around, they won't have any, because negative attracts negative, light attracts light. So, you're going to get to a spot where you're going to be surrounded. Sure, certain people, maybe it's just too much. Cut them off, no problem. But certain people, you don't have to give them all your energy. You don't have to give them all your time. Small doses. That's all you have to do. Be in their life and neutralize any negativity. So these people typically want to complain about things. They want to talk about this. They want to complain about people. They want to do this, blah, 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 blah. Everything is negative, but they're in those like thought patterns, they're in those negative belief states, and they can't see any differently. And they might even get annoyed if you say, hey, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Have you thought about doing it in this positive way, or changing? Hey, have you looked at it from this angle? And even if it's not a fully positive angle, you neutralize the situation. So you're saying, maybe this person did XYZ to them and they're really upset, but they keep bringing it up and up and up and up and up. And you're like, well, what are they feeling? What are they going through right now that is making them feel that way? What have they thought about? What have they gone through in their past? And it's not to, it's just to help them bring awareness to the whole situation. It helps them kind of go through and see, maybe I need to start looking at their situation differently. And so when you're giving that friendly, advice back, or the positivity, you don't want to overstep, because people, it's their lives and they don't need to complain. But they don't need you in there like forcing your will upon them. It's obviously up to them, how they choose to move forward with any situation. And over being too forceful with the positivity can turn them off a little bit, and then it'll just make them kind of bitter and angry at you, and it's not, you don't need that. So just little bits of that positivity. Sometimes they just need to listen. They might say, oh, they might want your feedback or whatnot. But if you just keep neutralizing them over time with little things, you're going to be a lot more successful. And it's not just one time. It's the repetition of, every time you're seeing them, you're just, and then they will naturally stop talking negative to you, because they can't get what they need from you. And that's the key. They're not going to be able to sit there and be like, oh my God, like, I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to say these things about these people, because you're like, well, actually, I don't fully feel that way about them. I'm sorry that's been your experience of them, or I'm sorry, you've had those experiences, but that's not been my experience. And so therefore, I don't really want to talk about that. I don't want to go down that alley. I just kind of want to keep my head clear. And then they might be like, oh yeah, 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 that's fine. That's fine. No problem at all. Blah, blah, blah. They might be a little bit annoyed, but those are the little neutralizing things again that we're doing over time, because and they just naturally will stop because that negativity wants to feed off itself. It wants to feed off each other, so it's going to want to find another person that will go down that rabbit hole with them. So that's a way that you can maintain um, relationships in your life that have a negative connotation, where again, you don't have to feed into that. Now, I'm not a believer in obviously going to a place where there are we're being fake. There's so much spirituality, so much um, things where people have gone way too far. Uh, when I say way too far, I mean, things become culty and they become, you know, and that could happen in any religion or any, even just fitness regime people, or, you can do that with anything. You have extremism in any form. Um, so obviously not advocating for everything's all butterflies and rainbows, because it's certainly not. But I think limiting our time with some people, but also being that light in their life is what's important, and that's doing the light work. You can't, you know, if you're a candle and you're in a room full of other, a well lit room, you're not really going to stand out. But damn sure if you walk into the dark space over there and you're that candle and you're just going to slowly help them, you're going to slowly light their wick up, and then you'll make another candle, and that's how the light spreads through the darkness. That's how everything grows, and we begin to uncover that self-awareness and go to the next step. So that's, I'm just going to quickly look at my notes here, but that's kind of where I find, if they're being negative and they're gossiping, if you nullify that, you're naturally that person. They're just going to stop giving that off to you. Um, you can ask them questions from different perspectives again. You can have them focus on their feelings, and what they can do to feel better about it. If they can't change that person or that thing, what can they do in their life that they can actually have control over? Because a lot of times, these people are going around and they're complaining and they're being negative, because they feel first off, they don't have self-awareness, but they also feel like a lost sense of control. A lot of these things come from anxiety or depression, past experiences, whatever it may be. Those are the things that kind of keep you down, and then over time, they just build up, and then again, you're with other people and you're like, I gotta go down this rabbit hole and I'm gonna get angry, and it's somebody there on my side, and I feel like it's feeding that ego, drive. And so by just neutralizing it, asking some questions, bringing them from here back to here, and getting that awareness. What emotions are you feeling when you think about this situation, and why? Let's dig a little bit deeper. Now, you're not a therapist. You're not there. Obviously, gauge it based on the time you have, gauge it based on the event. You're not going to do this at somebody's wedding. Maybe you are, I guess. Maybe you could. Maybe you find 10 minutes or whatever. But, just obviously gauge the event, gauge the time, and see, what's appropriate in the moment to go through that. But I think that what you'll find is over time, the negative people will only be positive around you. And great. Hopefully you've taught them some self-awareness. It's not to say that, you're never going to be around negative people and that person might never not be negative around you ever again. But for the most part, you're going to find those relationships actually improve because you've given them a little bit of your light. Whether you're just nullifying their negativity, you're nipping it in the bud. You're not allowing that person. You're setting this ironically, this whole topic goes into relationship boundaries and all of those things. What are you accepting in your life, in your relationships with these people that bring you negativity? And again, I'm not for cutting people off truly fully. Um, Obviously, you have to gauge your time. Certain people are easier to cut off than others. Um, if you don't have any attachments to certain people, and you really don't find that you mesh well, then you're not going to give them your time. But um, others you kind of stuck with, and so you're like, how can I gauge this? How can I build this relationship out? How can I ensure that I'm also not being overwhelmed the whole time? Um, and it's not, none of this is easy, by the way. I'm not saying this as if it's like a cakewalk, but the more you practice it, the easier it will get, and then you'll actually be able to set boundaries with people you never even thought you'd be able to set boundaries with. Um, and that's all just through like nipping that negative energy in the bud, and when you learn to voice your own opinion, again, anything in life that's good is going to take practice. It's going to take a little bit of effort. So it's just like when you're identifying a negative thought in your own head, you're like, I feel that thought, I gotta stop, and then I gotta let it go, or I'm gonna replace it with a positive thought. These are all like just little things. That's even something that you could tell the person that's being negative around you, that negative person in your life. That's a great way to start identifying those things and triggers that bring up those negative thoughts, and then say, no, I'm not gonna. I feel that, I accept it. It is what it is. Thank you for that negative thought. It's teaching me this, or it's teaching me that, or it's showing me what I don't prefer in the world. And then from there, I see it and we kick it to the curb, and we replace it with a positive thought. And that goes for anxiety, that goes for depression, that goes for just any sort of negativity in your life. But yeah, I think that's a good place to stop. I don't want to exhaust the whole topic. I'm sure we could get into more. Just a little, it's probably, after I clip it, we're at 17 and a half minutes. Might get down to like just a little micro 10-minute podcast after some editing. Um, and we'll throw it up. And, hopefully this brought you some value. Maybe I'll do an intro one too. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see where it takes us. I had fun, and I got some thoughts out, and I hope they really help you. So, best of luck. And what's a good exit? Um, we'll see you around. Well, seems to work, right? All right. Take care, guys.